Hey, if you've been following along with me over the past couple of weeks, I've put out 2 lessons that are specifically focused on building up speed with practice routines. These are not musical, these are not within any scale shape. They are meant to just get your fingers trained, your muscle memory trained, so that you can move your fingers in a way that most of us just aren't used to. So we want to be able to go ahead and play different patterns, whether you're playing your pinky to your ring finger and then back to your middle finger, and then you're playing your ring finger to your pinky and back to your first finger, right? You want to get used to doing different patterns and also sync up your right hand to your left hand with your picking. So we're doing some exercises, and this series is a 4-episode series. So this is the 3rd episode in this series. And today what we're going to look at is a pattern that is going to sound like this. And if you applied that to a scale shape and you got it up to speed, it would sound really, really cool. We're not going to do that today. I'm just going to show you the pattern, and then in future lessons, I'm sure I'll flesh out exactly how to put that to a scale shape. I'm kind of working on the exercises myself, so I'm trying to build up my speed as well, because I usually noodle around with a lot of stuff, and I'm trying to get out of the habit of doing that, because I always tell y'all not to do that too much. You know, it's all cool and everything like that, but if you learn some different shapes and some different patterns, it's going to help your playing stand out a little bit more. So we're going to do that today. We're going to look at that pattern. If you haven't seen the other 2 videos, go check those out, because in the first one, I actually show you all the patterns we're doing. There's like 6 patterns. And then in this one, we're just going to go ahead and take those 6 patterns and apply this new shape to it, or this new way of thinking about it to it. So go ahead and check out those previous videos, come back to this one, and we'll go ahead and show you this new pattern as well. If you have been following along and this is your 3rd week checking these out, then thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and on with the show. So again, we're going to do this one right here. I'm going to break that down for you in just a second, but don't forget that I do have a free course out there. The course is at tinyurl.com/dnh411. The link is also down in the description, so just go ahead and click on that, hop on over there, sign up real quick. You'll get on my email list, and I'll send you information every time I have a new lesson coming out. Subscribing is great, but YouTube algorithm doesn't always let you know when a video comes out, right? So I'll send an email out about that. I got bonuses that I send out that I don't put on YouTube. Of course, you get the free course. And I also let you know about other things that I have out there if you're interested. If you don't like the emails, if you're like, hey, you're too pushy of a salesman, leave me alone, just unsubscribe, and then you can keep the free course. It's yours to keep. I'm all about helping you learn how to play. Just pick up this guitar and go. And I got a unique way of looking at scale shapes, at the patterns, how they lock together like puzzle pieces, and something I like to call anchor shapes. So if you've never seen stuff like that, I know there's some other people out there who are doing something similar, but I think I've got a unique perspective on it. So check it out. It's that 7-day course, and it'll show you how to unlock the fretboard and be able to pick up the guitar and just play, improvise, and solo with ease and confidence and intuitively, which is kind of what my big deal is, right? I like to help people play intuitively so that you can just pick up the guitar and go and not have to just flesh out every single solo that you're playing. So that you can just pick up the guitar and shred away, right? But that's what I want you to be able to do, and getting the patterns into your muscle memory is what you want to be able to do. So let's go and look at this shape, which is going to help you get some new patterns into your muscle memory. And you can apply that to scale shapes as well. Again, we're not going to do that today, but it'll be easier to transition into scale shapes if you understand these patterns. So in this one, what we're going to do is we're going to use those 6 patterns that we already learned in the last couple of videos, and we're going to play this. That's basically the core of it. We're going to play that across all 6 strings. And all I'm doing there is I'm playing on the 5th string, or on the string above the one where we're going back to, is we're going to play on the 7th fret, and then on the 6th string I'm playing the 8th and the 7th. So on the 4th, the 7th, and then the 5th is 8 and 7. And then on the 3rd, the 7, and the 4th is 8 and 7, and so on and so forth. Now that's one pattern that's in this. That's not exactly what we're playing, but that's one pattern. The other pattern is we're going to play this, which is going to be, again, on the future string, which again, in this case, on the string above the one we're going back to, which is the 5th string here. We're playing 8, 7, and then go to the 4th string and play 8, 7, and then on the 3rd string play 8, 7. It's the same thing. Now those two in and of themselves could be an exercise. That's not what I'm showing you right now though. What I'm showing you is combining those two. So we're going to play the first one, which is 7, 8, 7, and then we're going to play the 8, 7, 8. And then we're going to play the 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. So the whole thing is going to sound like this. And then going backwards. We'll come back to that in just a second. I'll show you how to make it a circle. So the whole thing is going to be on the 5th string, 7, 8, 7 on the 6th string. Then go back to the 5th string and play 8, 7, and then 8 on the 6th string. So that's the whole pattern. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to go to the 4th string and I'm playing the same thing. So on the 4th string we're playing 7. On the 5th string we're playing 8, 7. And go back to the 4th string, play 8, 7. And on the 5th string play 8. Then the 3rd string, 7. And then on the 4th string, 8, 7, 3rd string, 8, 7, back to the 4th string, play 8. So that whole circular shape there is just going to go from the 5th string to the 4th string, to the 3rd string, to the 2nd string, to the 1st string. And right here when you get to that 8th fret on the 2nd string, I want you to come back to the 1st string, and I want you to go 7, 8, and then once you hit that 8, you're back to that 1st string shape across the 1st and the 2nd string. And then right here, you're going to go back to the 8 on the 2nd string and play 8, 7, and then go to the 3rd string, play 8, back to the 2nd string, play 7, back to the 3rd string, play 8, 7, and then 8, 7 on the 3rd string again, back to the 4th string, play 8, back to the 3rd string, play 7, back to the 4th string, play 8, 7, then back to the 4th string, play 8, then back to the 7, then the 5th string, 8, 4th string, 7, 5th string, 8, 7. So it's the same pattern, it's just backwards. That's it. That whole pattern, I'm just starting on the 1st string playing 8, 7, 2nd string, 8, 1st string, 7, 2nd string, 8, 7, and then I start that pattern, which is, I start that pattern on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, then on the 3rd string, then on the 4th string, then on the 5th string. But you have to do a little turnaround. When we go up, that pattern sequence ends on the 2nd string at the 8th fret. See, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then right here, in order to get back to that 8th fret on the 1st string, I got to go to the 7th fret and then the 8th fret on the 1st string to make that turnaround. And once I hit that note, I can go ahead and play the shape again, which goes from the 1st string to the 2nd string, and then I'm starting on the 2nd string, which with my 2nd pattern, 3rd string, 4th string, 5th string. Then here, to turn it around, I have to get back to the 7th fret on the 5th string. So we walk up to the 8th fret on the 6th string, and then when we get to the 7th fret on the 5th string, we can start the pattern over again. So the whole thing slow sounds like this. With those turnarounds. Like that. So basically you're make it into a round. And then of course when you incorporate your other fingers into it, we can go from one to the next to the next to the next, and then make it into an exercise. And you use a metronome, you build up speed. Then of course once you start applying this to scales, it makes it easier to transfer it into scales. So we're going to do the same thing with my first finger and my ring finger. This one's across the 7th and the 9th frets. So the turnaround right there, once we land on the 9th fret of the 2nd string, is to go back to the 1st string, walk up from the 7th to the 9th, and then we're there where we can start over again. There's your turnaround. Going 9, 7, 9, and then back to the 5th string, 7, where we can start over. Walk up. Wrong note, but that's it. Then go to your index finger and your pinky across the 7th fret and the 10th fret. Walk up to that 1st string on the 10th fret. Play the sequence over again. So one more time. Walk back up to the 7th fret on the 5th string and start over. And it doesn't sound musical at all, but that's kind of the idea. We'll do the same thing with the middle finger and the pinky across the 8th fret and the 10th fret. Like that. I did the turnarounds in there. And then we'll do the same thing with the middle finger and the ring finger across the 8th and the 9th frets. And then the same thing with the ring finger and the pinky across the 9th and the 10th frets. Always the toughest one, but you want to practice it because it'll help you do some really cool things if you can get that pinky working the way that you want it to work. So in this lesson, we basically took a pretty complicated shape that we were able to go back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, and it's going to allow you to go ahead and, again, get your muscle memory working the way that you want it to, so you can play all these really cool, complicated shapes when you get into playing them in scales. Now, I'm not really quite there myself yet. I wish I was good enough to sit here and blaze some really cool leads for you with these kinds of licks, but I'm not quite there yet. I will be, of course, putting this kind of stuff in my music later on once I get to the point where I'm good at it as well, and that's what I want you to be able to do also. We want to take whatever is in our brain and then be able to express it through our fingers, and sometimes we're limited by what we're able to do physically. When you get older, it might be difficult. You may not have the same kind of span as a lot of people do. You may not have the same muscle integrity that some people do. There's all kinds of things that could be limitations. There's all kinds of things that could be advantages. You just have to go ahead and work with what you have in order to make this stuff happen. But if you want to go ahead and get more into this, if this is something that you're watching and you're scratching your head and you're like, I don't know if I can do that just yet, or I don't know if those things will help me just yet, at least get the foundation. Learn the core theory the way that I teach it by going over to my free course. Link is in the description. check out that free course. 7-day free course. Shows you how to unlock the fretboard, shows you how the scale shapes all link together like puzzle pieces, how to pick up the guitar and just play it intuitively, be able to shred with ease, solo with ease, with confidence and intuitively, which is really kind of the key, because the fretboard is just a big circle. It's a big circle, and all the scale shapes are big circles, and the modes can be seen as circles, and I like to think of everything as do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, because if you try to memorize all the notes on the fretboard, then what winds up happening is you have a really hard time understanding exactly where everything is, because you're constantly thinking to yourself, well, is that an A, is that a B? And I know some teachers say, find all your E's, find all your G's, find all your B's, things like that, and that's fine. I want you to be able to do that as well. But if you think about it in terms of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and you think about it in terms of circular shapes, then every do is going to lead to a re. Every re is going to lead to a fa, do, re, or a mi, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So it's all going to lead into that. And then of course you can skip notes. So it's not always do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Maybe it's do, mi, la, right? Just like with the fingers. Sometimes we're going to play 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2. Or you're going to play 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 4, 1, 4. It depends on what you can actually get stuck inside your muscle memory so that you can go and play the way you want to play. So get my free course, check that out, and let me know in the comments. Again, this is the third part of this. Any questions that you have, anything that you want to see in future videos, because while I'm fleshing these out, I'm always thinking about new things that I could come up with to show you in these free lessons that I got here every single week. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Let me know what questions you have, and I'll see you in the next one.